What is going on, YouTube? Today I'm going to be making the smash burger tacos. If you've been on the internet for the last few days, couple of weeks, or even the last month, you've probably seen this recipe pop up on your timeline, and I couldn't help myself, so I decided that I was going to try to make an anabolic version of these smash tacos that are macro friendly but also delicious. So with that said, let's get into the video. And for this recipe, we're going to need a few ingredients. Those are going to consist of 93.7 ground beef, low carb tortillas. I'm using the Mission tortillas in my opinion. Those are the best, and these are going to be more of a quesadilla tortilla. So these tacos will be big, filling, and satiating all at the same time. Lettuce, red onion, pickles, sliced cheese, and this is going to be a lower calorie. It's about 50 calories per slice. You can just get the thinly sliced American cheese. I think that works the best, but of course you can do whatever you please as far as the cheese actually goes. And tomatoes. Most of these ingredients are optional, but this is what I'm going to be using. As far as the tomatoes go, we're going to be using those small cherry tomatoes. I'm going to chop them up and throw them in there. I think that's going to work better than using a whole tomato. They might get a little soggy and it might be a little bit too much tomato in every single bite, so I'm just going to stick with the small ones and sprinkle them in. To season our meat, we're going to keep things pretty simple. We're just going to be using garlic powder, onion powder, and salt. And of course, we can't forget to have our sauce. For that, we're going to need ketchup, and I'm going to be using the Walden Farms 0-calorie ketchup. In my opinion, this stuff tastes great, and I pretty much use it anytime I'm using a burger type recipe. Mustard, a light mayonnaise, and in my opinion, this is going to help, keep the calories lower and allow you to utilize the sauce a little bit more for those of you that are big sauce lovers. Relish, and white vinegar. If you've watched this channel before, then you probably know that I usually use the stovetop, but today we're going to be using the griddle here to make our tacos. This is going to be a little bit quicker, easier, mainstream way to make the tacos. I can do 2 at a time here. So that's going to be what I'm using to cook the actual taco itself. So with that said, let's go ahead and get our tacos ready. In order to do so, we're going to be using 8 ounces of ground beef. This is going to make up 2 servings of the tacos that we're going to be making. We're going to be making 4 total, 2 for myself and 2 for Hannah. And what we're going to do is we're going to use our seasons. Again, that's going to be onion powder, garlic powder, and salt. And mix the seasons into the meat and mix it around real good so that each patty is going to have a little bit of that flavor. Then we'll go ahead and roll up 4 separate balls, each ball being 2 ounces. Those are some meaty balls. And once we have those prepped, we're going to go ahead, wash our hands, and get the vegetables ready. Now for this, because I am using onion, tomatoes, and lettuce, we're going to go ahead and just chop up enough for what we need today, and we'll go ahead and save the rest for later. Of course, this step is technically optional. You could just have a regular cheeseburger without all of the fixings, but I'm going to go ahead and add it to mine because I think that'll make it a little bit more exciting and funner to eat. Plus, I enjoy a fully loaded cheeseburger. So why switch it up? We've got our 4 balls ready to go and our vegetables cut. The next step is going to be taking the 4 balls, putting them on our skillet. I'm going to be doing 2 at a time here to make sure that both tacos are well separated because again, these tortillas are a little bit bigger. Once I have the ball on the skillet, I'm going to go ahead and grab 2 tortillas and lay it over top of the balls of meat. Then we're going to go ahead and smash our balls down. Now I don't have a press, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my spatula here and try to press it down to be as flat as possible. We'll let that cook for a few minutes until it gets to a nice, good temperature, and we want to make sure that the outside is nice and crisp and it's looking ready to go. And once it does, we're just going to go ahead and flip the patty over so that way the tortilla is laying on the bottom and the meat is up top. Once that's done, we're going to go ahead and give it a couple of minutes so that the tortilla gets a nice crisp to it. Add our cheese on top so that the cheese melts nice and fine on there. And once it looks good and ready and the tortillas are nice and crisp, we're going to go ahead and add our toppings, which for me is going to be pickles, the tomato, the lettuce, and of course the onion. But we're missing one thing, and of course that's going to be the sauce, right? So here's how we're going to do that. For the sauce, we're going to want to get a mixing bowl to add all of our ingredients, and this is going to consist of about 58 grams of the light mayonnaise, about 23 to 25 grams of the ketchup, 15 grams of our sweet relish, about 7 milliliters of our white wine vinegar, and about 3 grams of mustard. We'll mix all of that together, and that'll be our sauce. It'll have a nice orangish look to it, which is gonna be great. I've also made the sauce before on my other video where I did the In-N-Out burger, so definitely be sure to check that out as well. This recipe will be a little bit different because in this case, we're using a smaller serving size for about 4 servings. That way we can have enough for each one of our tacos, but nothing left over. We're gonna evenly distribute that to our 4 tacos and enjoy it. All right, the final product has arrived. These guys are super loaded, very thick. I've got it dripping everywhere. So without further ado, let's give it a little taste test. Okay. That's super good. Kind of reminds me of just like a regular cheeseburger. It's got a little wrap, a little bit of carbs. A little bit different than the In-N-Out bowl that I had. Just in the fact that you have that carb. I don't know, there's something about the crunch of the tortilla, like really good. I will say though, they are a little bit messy, so I would advise caution, especially if you're loading up with, you know, vegetables and things like that like I did. That's also gonna make you more satiated, so definitely be sure to do that if your goal is to lose weight. Now, if you were to make this the same exact way that I did, but with the light mayo, I do have the avocado mayo that I use for the In-N-Out burger here, just because I have it saved to my FitnessPal. But with all of that, you have 503 calories, 47 carb, 29 fat, and 38 grams of protein. With a recipe like this, it'll make it very easy for you to hit your protein goal, and I will say it's way more delicious than chicken, broccoli, and rice. Overall, I'm gonna have to give it 7.5, no, let's go 8.5 out of 10. Look at all the colors and all of the stuff in there. It looks good, man. It's great. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. If you made it this far, just know that I appreciate you watching. And definitely be sure to try this recipe out at home for yourself. And let me know if it adds up. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's content, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Of course, I appreciate each and every one of you. The past few months, my channel is starting to grow. It really feels like it has legs compared to where it was last year whenever I started making videos. For me, that makes it all worth it. It's not just about the numbers, it's about seeing the community come together. And with that said, I'll see you in the next video.